School is the biggest scam in the history of mankind. And I'm not even exaggerating. It doesn't just mess with a few people, it absolutely fucks with everyone. And the crazy part, it's not even broken. It is working exactly the way it was designed to. To create workers, not thinkers. To produce followers, not leaders. To reward memorization, and to kill real curiosity. And that's why I walked away. I wasn't some dropout who failed at everything. I was actually the top guy in my class. I literally averaged 100 out of 100, year after year. Top of my school, maybe even top of my city. I got into one of the best high schools in the country. And then I left. Because I realized it was all bullshit. What nobody tells you is this: the smarter you are, the more they pull you in. The more obedient you are, the more they celebrate you. You study hard just to study even harder. The system is a loop, and it wants to trap you in it. Middle school prepares you for high school, and then college, and then masters, and then PhD. Then you become a professor, and then you're 50, who doesn't know what to do with his life. It's not a ladder, it's a fucking treadmill. You don't become a builder in school, you become a very polite, high-functioning co-op. I dropped out at 16, not because I was lazy. Because I was awake. I saw what was happening. I wasn't learning how to build. I was learning how to obey. I didn't want to memorize facts. I wanted to make something. While everyone else was cramming for some test, I was actually solving real-world problems. And look, freedom doesn't come from textbook. It comes from execution. Let me keep it real with you. And when I told people I was dropping out, no one supported me. Like, zero. They all said I was crazy. You're throwing away your future. You're leaving one of the best schools in the country. Yeah, I get it, but none of them had built anything in their lives. They had opinions, but I was obsessed. Before I left, I asked all my friends, why are you in school? 90% said for money. 10% said because my parents would kill me. and then I asked them, why the are you even here? Because if money is the goal, school is probably the slowest, most inefficient, most expensive way to chase it. So I left. And here's what happened. I built a game from scratch. Obsessed over every single detail, every single bug. Then I launched it. And it was an insane success. Hundreds of millions of downloads. And by the time I turned 19, I had made over $10 million. No degree, no diploma. Just tunnel vision and execution. And that surprised a lot of people because a lot of people assumed that I had some crazy background. Now let me give you the 4 dark truths about school. School teaches fear. They don't teach you how to lead. They teach you how to wait for your turn. From day one, you're told to put your hand before speaking. Don't get it wrong or you will lose points. Stick to the formula. Color inside the lines. It's all about fear of being wrong, fear of standing out, fear of failure. But let me ask you something real. How are you supposed to do anything great when you're literally trained to avoid risk? In real life, failure is the fucking teacher. In business, failure is how you grow. You try, you crash, you learn, and eventually you win. But school punishes failure. They literally stamp it on your paper and label you. So what happens? You stop taking shots. You stop speaking up. You start playing safe and calling it smart. That is not intelligence. That's fear with a mask on. School doesn't build your power. It teaches you to hide it. Grades don't prove that you're smart. I got perfect grades. Straight 100s. Top of my class. But let's be real. It wasn't because I was learning anything deep. It was because I knew how to game the system. Memorize, pass the test, and forget. That's the real formula. And they reward you for it. You follow instructions well, you're brilliant. You ask hard questions, you're difficult. It's not about intelligence, it's about obedience. Some of the smartest people I've met, they were actually called average in school. Why? Because they thought differently. They couldn't sit still. They hated structure. But in real world, they build shit. They lead. They innovate. Meanwhile, the A+ kids in school actually ends up working for them. You don't get paid in life for having good grades. You get paid for solving real-world problems. And school actually teaches you to follow, not to think. School gives you theory. They load you up with information, facts, dates, formulas, definitions, but when you finally step out, you realize you don't need all of these crap. I'm not even talking about entrepreneurship. Even doctors, engineers, and lawyers, they study for 5, 6, 8 years. Then they walk into their first job and realize they still don't know shit. Why? Because 90% of what you need to know comes from actually doing the job, not reading about it. And yeah, I mean, maybe if you're doing surgery, you need the theory first, I get it. But for literally everything else, you get good by actually doing it, not by filling in bubbles. Now imagine you're trying to build a business, but your education gave you nothing about how to make sales, how to communicate, how to manage emotion, how to handle pressure, how to spot trends, to adapt. You're basically walking into war unarmed. And that's what school does. It gives you ideas, but not tools. Theory feels safe, but skill is what wins in real life. Let me say it again. If you want to build a business, you're on your own. You're not taught how to build a product, how to market it, how to sell it, how to negotiate, how to build a theme, how to manage your fucking mental state. Instead, you're told, start a business plan, join a group project, simulate something. Bro, I don't need simulation. I need war. School has no idea how to prepare you for what this actually takes, because entrepreneurship is brutal. Let me tell you, it's lonely, it's uncertain, it's pressure, risk, responsibility. You have to build under pressure, sell with no guarantee, make decisions without knowing the outcome. Trust your gut when everyone else doubts you. There is no textbook for that. No multiple choice quiz on instinct. No group projects for building character. School trains you for permission, but business rewards initiative. And 99% of people never even realize how behind they are until they actually need to do the job. Now let me talk about the time waste that nobody talks about. Even if school did teach something useful, you know what's the worst part? The amount of time you fucking waste just being there. Think about it for a second. Waking up early, getting dressed, traveling there and back, sitting through 8 hours of classes, most of which don't even matter. Break between lessons, lunches, waiting for teachers, homework after all that. It's a fucking full-time job, just to exist in the system. And all of this for what? When you could literally just wake up, sit the fuck down, and study 10x more efficiently from home, in a fraction of a time. We live in the best possible era for learning. You have internet, you have YouTube, AI, you have free courses, communities, mentors, info everywhere. We are the luckiest generation alive. And we are still acting like we need to wait for permission to learn. The truth is, if you're curious, hungry, and focused, you don't need school. You need Google and discipline. That's it. And just so you know, I'm not talking out of my ass. I literally learned how to make a game from scratch on YouTube. No coding school, no fancy degrees, just me, my laptop, and a bunch of tutorial videos I found online for free. And the game that I built, it ended up with over 400 million downloads. Like, what excuse do people have now? You're one search away from changing your life. But instead, they're still asking permission to learn. But the system doesn't want you to realize that. Because if you knew how powerful self-learning is, you would leave. And they would lose control. And here's the biggest thing I have learned about learning. If you want to get great at something, you have to be around people who are already doing it. In school, you're surrounded by teachers, not builders. And if you stay in that system too long, you don't even realize what it's turning you into. It's not preparing you for life, it's preparing you for more school. School, college, masters, professors, that's the loop. It doesn't create freedom. it only creates dependence. And here's my take on this matter. All that money governments spend on education, give it to the companies instead. Let the builders train people. Let founders teach entrepreneurship. Let real-world warriors teach survival. Because real transformation doesn't happen in a classroom. It happens in the field. So, I'm not saying just drop out now. That would be incredibly reckless. If you leave with no plan, you're not escaping. You are literally drifting. And here's how to do it smart. Start something small while you're still in school. Can be an online business, a freelance service, a side hustle. Doesn't have to be big. Just enough to get reps, build confidence, and earn while you learn. Stick with it for a couple years. Let it grow in the background. $200, $500, then $1,000. And once you're making $2,000 per month consistently, with all the distractions of school around you, that is your green light. You drop out and go all in. Build something massive. Because if you can make $2,000 while doing homework and taking exams, you can make $10,000 when you got full focus. You don't quit out of frustration. You quit with momentum. And then you build something they will never understand. So I'm not saying everyone should drop out. I'm saying wake up. School is not going to hand you the life you want. It's gonna hand you a path that keeps you waiting. If you stay in school, cool. But don't expect it to make you free. You want real power? You gotta learn how to think. Learn how to execute. Learn how to actually build. And you don't need permission for that. You need clarity, courage, and tunnel vision. And if you're still here, you already get it. You can already feel it. So subscribe and stick around, because this is just the beginning.